Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. Today, another interesting story for Phoenix history, one that I actually have known about for a very long time, and I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a bugger to park anywhere, so done my best. Anyway, we are here to tell the fascinating story of Jacob's Post, but more importantly, Jacob himself and the deeds that he committed. Stay with me and we'll tell the story on the other side. Come on. Hello everybody, welcome back. Hopefully you're doing well. What a fascinating story this really is, and I'm not just saying that, it's really interesting. It's one that I've been aware of for quite a long time actually, but like I said before, trying to park anywhere is actually quite difficult to do. So what I want to do is I want to show you this. This is Jacob's Post, and this is obviously where there's a beautiful signboard here, and as you can tell, it's autumn has broken in, but it's actually a tale of murder that this represents. So let me just tell you about it. So basically, the story is that Jacob Harris was a travelling peddler, and on the 26th of May 1734, which you can see on the rooster, has been labelled, hopefully you can sort of see that, it says 1734 on the rooster. He said he broke into the Wayside Inn, which actually then transformed into, or changed, and became the Royal Oak. Now, the Royal Oak sadly isn't there anymore, but he was there to steal some money and was caught by the landlord, who was Richard Miles. Harris slashed Miles in the throat with a knife, but Miles managed to call for help and later identify Harris just before he actually died himself. Then Miles's wife and maid came running, and Harris killed them too. So actually he killed 3 people in total, but unfortunately he killed the maid and his wife outright, and then sadly Miles was sort of like left there to sort of bleed until he could actually identify really Harris, which is harrowing in itself. The fact of the matter was that Harris actually stole a coat which was worth 10 shillings at the time, and he fled, and he first hid in the Cat Inn at Turner's Hill, and then he hid up the chimney at Selsfield House in West Hoathly, but he was caught when soldiers searching for him lit the fire underneath the chimney to actually get him out. And then Harris was taken to Horsham Jail, and in due course he was executed by hanging at the scene of the crime. His body was hung in a gibbet, and the post, which has a rooster on it, was left as a reminder of the crime. Harris was a Jewish peddler, also known as Jacob, hopefully I've pronounced that correctly, Jacob Hirsch. He was struggling to make ends meet, but some say he was simply an scapegoat for the crime. And then what it goes on to say is that while Harris's body was still on display, barren women would visit and hold his hand in the belief that it would make them fertile, and this belief carried on to the 19th century, so much so that people would cut away pieces of the post to ward off evil spirits. And that also to mention was that the Royal Oak stood on the corner of Ditching Road, which is literally just around the corner here. It didn't close until 2009, and it used to have a bit of the post at the bar, and then there was mention of people who would actually visit just to touch that post. Remarkable story. 3 people murdered all in toll, and just, yeah, the fact that this is here. There's I just want to show you this. It says Jacob's Post. It says this post was erected at the end of the 19th century to mark the site of the old gallows where the body of Jacob Harris was hung following his execution for the murder in 1734. The rooster is a copy made by the pupils at Uckfield Comprehensive School. The original is in the guardianship of Ditchling Parish Council and may be seen at Chichester House in Ditchling. So, again, the pub, just for reference, everybody, it's just literally around the corner. Well, it's not there anymore. This is the thing. Like I said, the Royal Oak isn't here anymore. It's just houses, as you could see. So, yeah, history, losing history, you know, you could debate about the history of pubs. I find pubs absolutely fascinating. They've got so much rich history. But we also understand that in a modern climate, we can't sustain them like we used to. Which is sad, because especially in the case of the Royal Oak, what a fascinating story. But yeah, interesting place. Also, you wouldn't be surprised to note that there's actually a paranormal element to all of this, and it's actually rumoured that Jacob actually haunts these woods and actually will go across the road, as you could hear in the background. Quite a noisy road actually today. It's probably sort of relative commuter time now, so it's probably his busiest time, but apparently his ghost is said to haunt these. They're not even woods really, they're like a shallow form of woods. Actually, if you look on the map, there's not really much to them, but yeah, he's said to have haunted here. So yeah, there you go. Fascinating story. Hopefully you like that. One final thing I wanted to sort of mention, as you can see here, is I found a really old photo of the post. And what we need to take into reference is that it's the original. We have to debate of which one was actually the original. I mean, there's you know, it's wooden, so it's going to deteriorate very rapidly. Obviously, we know this is a modern one. This obviously tells us that as well. But there's a beautiful old photo of one of the earlier versions of the post. Let's just sort of say, for argument's sake, if it was the original one there at the time, I doubt it. I don't think it was, because I think it did say that it'd seen a few alterations or different posts. So we just sort of say, but like I said, the rooster is obviously in the museum, and I think actually it did say something about a replica gibbet can be seen at Ditchling Museum as well. So there you go. It did say, yeah, until it disintegrated. So he hung in a gibbet until it disintegrated. And then, what does it say on here? Because I've not actually read this. The post topped with a rooster. There you go. Beautiful illustration. And the other thing I wanted to sort of point out as well was it says the Ballad of Jacob Harris, sold and sung at his execution. I'm not going to read all of that because I think that's quite a mouthful. But just basically encourage you to come here, really. But that's, yeah, quite a mouthful. Anyway, really hope you enjoyed that fascinating story about Jacob's Post and the origin behind it. And the actual, like I said, there is genuine actual rumour, by the way, of paranormal activity around this area to do with that. Believe it what you will on that aspect. Quite interesting to note that, though. There you go. Adds to the folk tale, really. I mean, that's the aspect of the paranormal side of that. Is really it cements the legacy of this place, really. So yeah. Any more words of Phoenix history? Thank you so much for coming along with me and enjoying that wonderful little tale about Jacob's Post. Take care, and of course, we'll see you all very soon. Take care, much love. Feel free to spread the word. Channel really goes a long way. Much love to all of you out there. Really, kapow.